Hi, this is Ed Launer of Off the Hook Taxidermy. We're going to talk a little bit about taxidermy, what the word taxidermy really means, and it's really geared towards a sportsman if they do kill a big deer or catch a good sized fish, what they need to do with it, and trying to find a quality taxidermist. So let's talk a little bit about taxidermy. What does it mean? A lot of people look at us as animal stuffers. Yeah, we're animal stuffers, but we're really artists. I see a lot of taxidermy, good taxidermy, and I've also seen some bad taxidermy. And I try to educate people on what good taxidermy is from bad taxidermy. I know people that go out west on hunting trips. They go out in Canada fishing trips. They'll spend $4,000 or $5,000 on a trip, but when they call the taxidermist and the taxidermist quotes a price to them that's real high, they kind of, oh man, that's way too much. But we as taxidermists as a whole, we all need to, stick together. When I mount a piece, a trout or a bass, I try to do it the best of my ability. Yes, I go to a lot of shows. I've had my work judged, but I want that piece to look like it just come out of the water or the way it looked before it was killed. And I really believe if people would really look around and try to find the best taxidermist, I think they're going to be pleased. I mean, you get what you pay for. You got guys that charge $250 for a deer, then you got some guys charging $500. Like I say, you get what you pay for. I'd much rather for somebody to mount something for me that knew a little bit of what the animal looks like and make it look like it was when I killed it or caught it. So a few things you need to look for, especially with fish. The most important thing on a fish is, the how he's mounted. Fin placement, color is very important too. A lot of people can mount fish, but they can't paint them, or vice versa. But like I say, I've had people that's come into my shop and looked at my fish, and I've got some back here. Well, Ed, your fish looks so wet and glossy. Well, that's the way a fish looks like. And I've seen some where they didn't have any gloss on it, but that's okay. I mean, you don't really have to have a wet fish, but if you pull one out of the water, he's going to be real wet, and really technically when they're underwater, they're not going to be real wet. And the placement of the fins are very important. White-tailed deer, there's another, and I do quite a few white-tailed deer. And I send my stuff off to the tannery to get it tanned. And when I mount it, three crucial areas that are very important: your eye placement, and your ears, and your antler placement. And I've had people tell me, well, Ed, anybody can pull a skin up over a form. Yeah, they probably can. But when you start talking about eye placement, ear placement, it takes a lot of studying and studying your reference. I see, like I say, I've seen a lot of taxidermy mounts in the last 30-some years. We've come a long ways. And, some people just don't know quality taxidermy. They're so used to looking at bad taxidermy. Like I say, you get what you pay for. Before you choose a taxidermist, go look at some of their work. Some of the first stuff I ever mounted 30-some years ago, I thought looked great, but it wasn't. And I'm talking from a taxidermy aspect of it. Let's say you mount 100 fish a year, and out of those 100 fish, you only got one good mount. That's not acceptable. I mean, if you're going to charge a high price for something, it better be technically right. And that's why I try to educate people. I may be a little bit higher than everybody else, but I go a little bit further than maybe another taxidermist, especially on fish. I can tell you right now, some people just put a flat finish gloss on them, and that's good. I don't have a problem with it, but I put a heavy layer of gloss on there, and it just makes the colors come out. In pricing, a lot of people do not realize how much it costs to do taxidermy. A white-tailed deer, a lot of people, when you price something, well, it's going to cost $500. Oh gosh, Ed, that's way too high. But when you really look at the technical aspect of it, there's a lot of work. It costs a lot of money to put one together. And you should be, as a taxidermist, you should get paid for your work. Styrofoam forms, I'm just going to tell you point blank. 20-some years ago, you could get a taxidermy form for $25. Now you can triple that. Inflation's going up. These forms go up. And the general public does not know that. When a life-size bear, the bear form, $300 or $400 before you actually even start on the bear. So taxidermy is expensive. And I don't get agitated, I just get agitated where I see a lot of people that are excellent taxidermists, but they're not getting paid for their work. They're giving their work away. And we as taxidermists need to stick together as a whole and do a good job and get paid for it. We're not looked at as a profession, we're looked at as we're a hobbyist. Yes, I get it. Our economy's in bad shape right now. I understand, the pandemic, and I get it. You charge $500 for a deer. Well, this deer is not important to me. I'm not going to get it mounted. And I get it and I understand it. But there is people out there that's willing to pay good money for quality taxidermy. And I think we as a whole, as a taxidermy industry, sometimes us taxidermists, we need to be charging a whole lot more than what we're actually charging now. And that's just my personal opinion. I love taxidermy. I love going to shows, but it kind of hurts me, when you got people that are doing deer for $300 and they should be charging $550 because their work's that good. Because you win a world championship in a deer category or fish category, that don't mean you can charge $700 or $800. I get it and I understand it, but if you've won a world championship, you paid your dues, you go to shows, charge what you're supposed to charge. And I know a lot of world champions in taxidermy, and I've had my stuff judged, and I know, they get paid. And, it's just like anything else. And I've said this in previous videos, if you want to be good at something, I don't care if it's basketball, football, baseball, fishing, or whatever, practice. Practice makes perfect. And make your next taxidermy project that you do, make it better than your last. If you can see improvement in your work on every piece that you do, and you learn something, you're going to the next level. But if you continue putting out the same product that you put together 5 years ago and you're not getting any better, that's not acceptable in my opinion. So until we meet next time, and the next time that we do a video, I think we're going to be painting a hybrid bass. It's not a hard fish to paint, but there's a lot of colors. But I hope I kind of educated some people about the taxidermy field in general. And I hope it helped. So till we meet next time, go on the water or get in the field, go get you a trophy, call you a quality taxidermist, and once you get that piece back, enjoy it, looking at it. And thank you again, and we'll see you next week.